I wish upon a star, even though it's very far. Send me an angel, the nicest one you have.
I could not have ever predicted that Stitch would be embraced the way he has.
I was really surprised that the movie stuck with people for so long. I know people that have called their dog Stitch.
I ended up dressing up as Lilo in my first contest on the county fair because I loved it so much.
What about Alana?
The original film penetrated the zeitgeist in a way that I never could have predicted.
Nobody gets left behind.
It's fun, very important. It makes my heart so happy.
When I heard that they were going to be doing a live-action Lilo and Stitch, I thought, I have to be a part of this.
I was obsessed with the original. My brain exploded when I saw it in theaters as a kid.
It was a little bit more punk rock than a lot of the other Disney classics.
I can't go out of the house without seeing Stitch on somebody's jackets, shoes, mugs, you name it.
Hey, Mark.
Sounds great. Here we go. I was just coming off my first feature film. They're obviously very different projects, but they shared a lot of the same DNA.
Does it have to be this dog?
Yep, he's perfect.
I'm drawn to projects that use humor and entertainment as a side entrance to emotional depth.
I'll be good.
One of the things that we talked about early on is we have to have a movie that is something familiar to the people that saw the original movie. That's one of the things that Chris Bright imparted in the script.
Chris and I clicked right away. He even has a long family connection to Lilo and Stitch. His mother was, and still is, the choir director of the Kamehameha School, which sang on the original soundtrack. And we also brought them back to work on this one.
Getting to write on it made it incredibly special. In a way, I've never really said this to you, but it's kind of like my love letter to my mom, just for everything that she's done for me.
Stop it.
Same way that Lilo and Stitch are so carefree, that's Dean. His experience with visual effects, specifically animation, humor that he brings, while simultaneously also being heartfelt, is a very fine line to walk.
Dean is so very open to exploring the world and life and love and family.
Oh yeah, Dean is really funny.
When we get on the set, we already know he's got us.
Guys, I got a new dog.
It's exciting to see what other directors and writers' interpretations are of the property.
Nala Krista!
We were lucky Chris Sanders, who created Stitch and does his voice, came back to reprise Stitch.
Stitch is interesting. His closest Disney neighbor would probably be Donald Duck. Donald has the ability to start trouble. He gets caught in his own mischief.
I think that's why Stitch is an icon. He is such a weird little freak. He's unapologetically himself. He also exists in this context of Disney, where it's like, you know, princesses and royalty and this sort of pomp and circumstance. Stitch is just this, like, messy goblin who doesn't even belong on Earth.
Get your own movie.
You know, you watch Lilo.
This is your badness level.
She sort of believes if I can fix him, maybe I can fix myself and I can fix my family. And I think that's what we all want to believe.
There's a lot of people out there that see themselves in Lilo. Lilo is a very specific character. We were very careful when we crafted her.
I'm late because I had to go to the store and get peanut butter because all we have is stinking tuna.
She's just really interesting. She is very thoughtful, but she's got a really vivid imagination.
Hey, Snitsy, I think we're at your house. You see a red spaceship?
Maya Kealoha was such an amazing find for our film. We auditioned hundreds of girls to play the role. And what really grabbed me immediately about her is that Maya was the one dragging her parents to these auditions and not the other way around.
And she would just sort of talk back to Dean sometimes in the casting sessions and make jokes.
That's the producer. Her name's Dean.
I'm the director, but yeah, close.
She walked by me yesterday. I said, oh, you're not gonna say hello. You're not gonna give me a high five. It's like that, huh?
You're not gonna say Cobra.
You can read, huh?
Yeah, I can read. I'm reading you like a book.
Mr. Cora Bubbles, high five. You know, so this is very cute.
Maya has not become Lilo. Maya is Lilo.
Oh my gosh, with the boba, chef kiss.
She greeted me and goes, "Hello, dummy." And I thought, I really like this kid. No, she's a talented young lady. It takes a special person, especially at that age, to be able to kind of bring those feelings to the forefront.
Who is May May and Pei Pei?
That's Mama and Papa's room.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
Oh, innocence, innocence. She's always ready to play. That's a key part to the character of Lilo.
How much does a tooth fairy give for a tooth rounding?
20.
She was just so self-possessed and in charge and like knew who she was. And we're talking about someone who had just turned 6 when we cast her and had never acted before.
Came to Oahu to do chem tests, and Maya was just this little spunky, adorable child. There was an instant trust and sisterhood. I think they could see it because we felt it.
In a lot of ways, Nani is the protagonist of the movie in terms of the character that goes through the most change and the biggest emotional arc.
I like you better as a sister than a mom.
Ouch.
Sydney does have a younger sister, and I think she goes very easily into that role.
Sydney is like very sweet and kind. When I work with her, she makes me very happy.
Got you.
Wait, you can't see.
That's your fault.
Zach and Billy bring an incredibly funny and different dynamic to the movie.
Humans are fierce.
That was a big topic. How much of the sci-fi space world are we going to try and recreate in live action?
Our mission cannot fail.
Mission failed.
Oh, no.
Jemba and Pleakley, they are caricatures. You know, you can do a lot of things in an animated feature that you can't do in a real-world feature. Either they become scary.
You look like a monster.
Or they immediately become odd in a way that makes you think about them too much.
Having the aliens put on human disguises felt like something that was believable.
Laurel and Hardy is the best way I could describe it.
We wanted to play with alien form going into a human form and not being familiar with how to work the legs. Aloha.
Aloha.
How are you?
We have apprehended a dangerous threat.
Everyone's first question on this movie is, okay, what's Stitch gonna look like?
Growing up. Growing up.
If you're trying to adapt Stitch, that better be Stitch. People are not gonna be happy if it's not Stitch.
This was a tough one. How do you live up to this cartoon character that can do anything? The first time I saw Stitch, I thought, whoa, they got it right.
Dean's approach is to not try and beat nature. And so trying to take inspiration from like the ears of a deer and the nose of a bulldog.
Oh.
Koala eyes and squirrel movements.
At the very early stages, we hired this guy, Ben Wooten. Ben helped realize the concept of Stitch. And there were very, very detailed things we got from the archives of all their character sheets.
We would pull in Alex Cooper-Schmidt, the lead animator on Stitch originally. He would take single frames and draw over and say, like, Stitch's butt is bigger here. It doesn't move like that.
We had to fix on the other side.
One of the biggest challenges on the movie, of course, is one of our lead characters being computer generated.
Or forgotten. I know.
We needed something that was photorealistic, that gave us a great lighting reference, so we brought on Legacy to do the on-set maquette.
Their maquettes were meticulous, like hand-sewn hair for all the fur on Stitch, and they looked beautiful.
It also allowed us to have something that Maya could connect with.
Yeah, and then, yeah.
It was Dean's idea to bring in someone to operate the Stitch puppet so that it wasn't just a lighting reference, so that it really brought the character to life in Maya's eyes and in the other actors' eyes.
Maya got to meet Stitch for the first time when Seth was puppeteering. All of a sudden, she reached forward and kissed him on his nose.
Say hi.
That's where we kind of knew this is going to work.
There's a level of trust that is built between the puppeteer and Maya, me and the puppeteer, and me and Maya, and Dean, and all of us working together.
So we have two hero versions of the puppet, in which one of them is the lighting reference. We like to keep him as pristine as possible. He has rods that come out of each one of his extremities, so he can give motions with his hands. He has done a few stunts. He's got some beautiful Hawaiian beach sand all over him. And then we have our rugged one we use for a lot more of the physical acts, like running him over with a bus. If Stitch is interacting with any props or any elements on set, I would do the same thing, mainly with rods, to interact with props or books, stuff like that. And then we have a bunch of smaller versions that we bring into the water, little arms on sandbags, just for something heavy that will then be occupied by the digital Stitch.
A lot of the complex action sequences throughout the whole film came from the ocean. Sydney came in, she was sitting on the surfboard with us, working on paddling, and she goes, I really needed this. And I'm like, remember this feeling and use it. This is her connection back with Hawaii.
When I knew that we were going to be doing this movie in Hawaii, one of my first phone calls was to Brian Kealana. Brian is a preeminent waterman on the island. He helped create how big wave rescue works with jet skis and sleds to be able to save these surfers and keep them safe. Like, Brian's the unofficial mayor. We hired him as our second unit director for the water work. He's also our water safety specialist.
Working with the Kealana family has been one of the biggest honors. Truly, surf training was like extremely important to me. As much as I've been born and raised on Kauai, it's so very different from Oahu right off the bat. The island has its own common cultures and values, but being able to learn that, especially from the Kealanas, Ryan, his daughter, Ha'a, Chad, Rusty, and all of them, I learned the technique, but I also fell so much more deeply in love with everything that I already felt so connected to from Hawaii.
We're shooting here in Hawaii because we wanted the movie to feel authentic.
There's no way to recreate it anywhere else.
You know, probably not the same feeling if we were in Burbank.
I guess I'm here working, but do you really work in Hawaii? Is that not an oxymoron?
There is no place like home. There are no mountains that look like the Ko'olau Mountains.
Our cultural consultants, Leana Kanoa Wong and Kaliko Hurley, bring a huge wealth of knowledge that we would not otherwise have.
They would send scripts and the ideas to Kaliko and I. We'd review it, we'd provide feedback and notes. You know, like, these characters are gonna be conveying our aunties, our uncles, our cousins. How do we bring those to life?
There she is, Miss Aloha. You're gonna have a very bright future because of that Akamai brain of yours.
They helped with everything from the pronunciation of pidgin words and dialogue.
He is your Kuleana, your responsibility. Got it.
We promise.
To set decoration elements.
The very first time I stepped onto the Pelikai house, Todd, the production designer, was there. And I just couldn't stop saying, Todd, I'm freaking out. This looks exactly like our old auntie's houses, down to the smallest details, the Hawaiian flag, the way that it was weathered, like everything about it was so researched. It was beautiful.
I think being in Hawaii adds an element to it that's maybe even unspoken. The culture of Hawaii, the ohana of it, is not just words in a script. You can see it's a real thing. The culture here is very friendly.
Everything that we do is rooted in somebody who has grown up here telling us a story about why or how or who.
I actually live in Hawaii, and it's really important for me to make this film feel as local as possible, made by locals. So really fortunate, more than 70% of our crew is a local crew.
The crew is amazing. I felt very honored to be able to shoot there. It's such a close-knit filmmaking community. You have people that have worked with each other for 20 years, have a shorthand, love each other like family.
I don't know what it is. It's like an energetic thing being raised in Hawaii that we can just tell who a local person is and we can just instantly connect with them.
Epic.
You know, you can't really calculate what it means. It just makes you feel like you're part of the Aina, part of the land, part of the mana, and our kuleana, our responsibility is to tell this story as authentically as possible.
Hana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or
forgotten.
Ohana is a really important element in the original and in our story. The original probably introduced most of the non-Hawaiian speaking world to the concept of Ohana.
I hate it when you use Ohana against me.
As we began to adapt the movie, it felt like there was a real opportunity to add a little nuance to it.
You know, ohana is not necessarily just your family. It's also who you choose to call your family.
Hey, Lottie, what you doing here?
I live here. We're neighbors.
Your neighbors become your ohana. Your classmates, your friends become your ohana.
That's huge in island culture. We live on very small islands. We have to have this strength and loyalty and love. You know, when someone is down, like, someone else is gonna be there to pick them back up.
We're not just neighbors, you know. We're Ohana.
Tutu is not Lilo and Nani's Tutu. It's not their grandma by blood, but Hanai, which is someone that has taken on that role.
Hey. If anyone tries anything, hit him in the eyes with this.
Whoa.
My character really cares about their future and how they are going to move forward.
Whoa, okay.
By the end of the movie, we have a family that looks really weird. We have a CIA agent.
Agent Cobra Bubbles.
A bunch of Hawaiians. Alien in there. But that's what family is.
I'm really moved seeing a new generation discover Stitch. Friends of mine who were fans of the original now get to take their kids to it, introduce them to Stitch. He's like such a messy little nightmare that any child can feel like, that guy's for me.
Now more than ever, we need a story about being there for your family, no matter what that looks like. Whether it's big,
I feel overwhelmed with gratitude.
Small,
I like you as mom too.
broken, but still good.
You can't break.
Hopefully everyone can walk away from the movie feeling good and inspired by that.
Stitch. One.
Aloha!
Dogs don't can talk.
Get ready to dive into the heart of Lilo and Stitch like never before.
I have so much packing to do.
From the very first sketch to the final shot, this live-action remake wasn't just made. It was lovingly drawn to life.
You're the devil in disguise.
Join us as we explore the ohana that brought this film together. From the Hawaiian locations that captured the soul of the islands, to the creative team that stitched the magic of the original into every frame. Along the way, you'll discover hidden nods, shot-for-shot callbacks, and all the stunning details that brought Lilo and Stitch into the real world.
You sure you like this one?
Yep. He's perfect.
The production had its work cut out for them, knowing they'd be following in the footsteps of Disney animation legend Chris Sanders. From whose imagination sprung one very mischievous blue alien.
He is clearly the flawed product of a deranged mind.
I prefer deranged genius.
Oh, and did we mention he also voices the feisty little guy? Yup, in both the animated classic and the new live-action movie. When it comes to Stitch, Chris really does have the final word. Or snarl. When Dean Fleischer Camp took on the challenge of bringing Lilo and Stitch to life, one thing was clear. This would be a carefully crafted love letter to the original. To truly honor the spirit of the original film and the place that inspired it, the team knew they had to find local Hawaiian actors to bring Lilo and Nani to life.
Tickle-town, yes, Tickle-town.
They launched a worldwide search, reviewing over 700 auditions.
Whoa.
But as director Dean Fleischer Camp put it, they weren't just looking for someone to play Lilo.
Anyone seen Lilo?
They were looking for Lilo herself.
Hey, Mark.
And after all that searching, they found her in the amazing Maya Kealoha.
What?
Casting Nani was just as personal. Sydney Agudong, born and raised in Hawaii, brought big sister energy both on and off screen.
I just want to boop her nose all the time. Boop.
And when writer Chris Keikani Okalani Bright saw Sydney and Maya rehearse as Nani and Lilo for the first time, he got choked up. Full tears. Someone passed the tissues.
I'm so happy.
Can I kiss your nose?
We all know cute when we see it.
Yeah.
Billions of years of evolution made sure of that.
What an adorable little psychopath.
So, when it came time to bring animated Stitch into the real world,
Gotcha.
the team leaned into everything evolution has taught us about being irresistible and combined it into one.
How?
Stitch.
I designed him to be dangerous. I just think he's a lot cuter than you think he is dangerous.
The eyes of a koala, the movements of a squirrel, the cuddliness of a puppy. Oh yeah, and the strength of 10 men and a penchant for destruction.
What'd that say? On the refrigerator. Ohana means family.
That's right, Lilo. And family means nobody gets left behind, not even the original cast.
Aloha, Lilo.
Do you recognize Mrs. Keikoa, the social worker who holds Nani's fate in her hands?
Oh, yeah.
That's Tia Carrere, who voiced Nani in the original animated film.
Okay, that's enough sugar for you.
Nani! And the OG Ohana doesn't end there.
You're kidding.
Recognize Nani's uptight boss? Yep, that's Jason Scott Lee, the same actor who played David in the original.
Oh, there she is, Miss Aloha.
And there's Tutu, Nani's loyal neighbor, played by Amy Hill, the same actor who played absent-minded fruit vendor Mrs. Hasagawa in the animated film.
I can't talk now, dear.
The filmmakers introduced Tutu to show that Ohana isn't just who you're related to, it's who shows up for you too.
Like me and Alvin.
Here's a detail you might have missed. See that strange alien writing on Stitch's ship? That's Tantalog, a language created just for Stitch during the first film.
You can read, huh?
I'm reading you like a book.
The new creative team ran with it. Look closely and you'll spot Tantalog all over, even on the backs of crew chairs, with names written in both English and Tantalog. And yes, every bit of it is completely translatable. Just maybe don't ask what this means.
Growing up.
Crash imminent. Prepare for impact.
You can't bring Lilo and Stitch into the real world without, well, the real world.
A planet called Earth.
And that meant filming in Hawaii. In fact, 100% of the movie was shot on the island of Oahu.
You supposed to be here?
I'm in town for the convention.
Location scout and longtime Hawaii local Amira Solomon helped the team find picture-perfect spots that not only matched the animated film, but also gave Hawaii the starring role it deserves. Hawaii is home to many special and sacred places, and honoring them is a tradition. Before filming began, the crew took part in a blessing ceremony, a meaningful custom in Hawaiian film productions.
We are all here as one Ohana.
It's a gesture of respect and an extension of Ohana, this time to the land itself.
Nobody gets left behind.
The live-action Lilo and Stitch wasn't just made in Hawaii, it was made by Hawaii. Over 70% of the crew were local.
That's crazy.
And Hawaiian actors filled roles both in the spotlight and in the background. The Hawaiian cast and crew infused the aloha spirit into the film.
This is my family.
Well, that's a wrap on our adventure through the world of Lilo and Stitch.
Aw, man.
Thanks for coming along for the ride.
Can I hug you? That's not going to happen.
From shot-for-shot nods to the creative Ohana that stitched this film together with so much love. Whether it was the Hawaiian locations, the legendary crew, or the heart and soul of the characters, this movie is a true reflection of family.
I'm your Ohana, just like your friend Lisa used to say. Ugh.
The next time you watch Lilo and Stitch, know that you're seeing a film made with heart, aloha, and a whole lot of Ohana. Mahalo for joining us.
Let's go home. Yeah. Looks more like a trash bear come out of the trash.
Huh?
Trash. No trash.
And I'm just gonna tell you a little bit that way. Perfect. All right, let's try the first one again.
Only wish is a friend. Send me an angel, the nicest one you have.
I'm not from here, but I think you're supposed to stay in between the lines.
You guys were coming up to our turnaround.
No, in this country, we drive in the middle of them. Lines mean nothing.
Hi.
You gotta promise to be quiet. I'm silent. So, I mean for the rest of the movie.
There's something wrong with the microphone because all your snorts.
Give me the creeps. Oh, well. How does this go on? Somebody teach me how to put this on!
surprised, Maya.
Okay, got it.
Good job, Nani.
I'm Nani and I'm in her brain. I'm Nani and I'm in your brain. I'm really smart and I'm really great. And my name is Nani. I wonder where Lilo is, probably making crafts, looking at the spiders